Good evening, everybody. This is Christopher Bannon with the National Weather Service here in Slidell, Louisiana, and this is your outlook for the next week, starting tonight, May 21st, and going through May 27th. First off, let's go ahead and look at our hurricane season. It starts on June 1st, don't forget that, but it really shouldn't matter because we have had multiple systems occur before the season starts. And as you can see in the graphic to the right, the blue area across the Gulf of Mexico and then the Atlantic coast, that's where we tend to have the greatest chance for tropical systems to develop early in the season. And if you look at your graph on the left, it kind of shows where we are. And you see there is a little peak there in mid-May to late May before June 1st. And that's because we get these cold fronts that come down into the Gulf of Mexico and off the Atlantic coast that stall and can be the possible beginnings of a tropical system. Luckily for us, there really isn't anything that we're seeing for at least the next 7 days, so we'll keep our fingers crossed there. Looking at the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season, here are the names for this season. You'll see a lot of familiar names on there, but then, of course, you'll see some brand new names on there. And obviously, the I storm, as for some reason always, is changing quite rapidly with Adelia this year. We've had multiple I storms that have been retired. The one thing to point out, though, is that unlike 2020, this started last year as well for 2021 and 2020. I'm sorry, for 2022, we will no longer use the Greek alphabet. There is a supplemental list in alphabetical order, and they will continue using that supplemental list, not changing any names every year, unless we get to that list, use a storm that does get retired, and they will change just that name. But that supplemental list will remain the same every year. And hopefully we can keep us from getting into that supplemental list this year. So your tropical weather outlook. This has begun on a regular basis now about a week ago, and we are highlighting one area that is near the Bahamas right now, but it is a pretty disorganized area of showers and thunderstorms associated with a kind of a broad area of surface low pressure. However, conditions remain quite unfavorable and do not look to become favorable over the next week. So really, there's not much development expected with this system. And this is basically for the next 7 days here now, not 5, but 7 days. That is the one change with the tropical weather outlook. They have increased it from 5 to 7 days. So as we go ahead and look at our forecast for this week, you can see there is a cold front that pushed through late last night and is in the Gulf of Mexico, kind of stalled right now. Obviously, something for us to always keep an eye out this time of the year, but conditions don't look like we'll be in any chance for any type of development on this front. That cold front, though, does also continues to drift off the Atlantic coast as well, with high pressure pushing it behind it. You can see the area of green is where we had a few showers earlier and expect some more maybe this evening, mainly over the coastal waters. And as we go into overnight hours and into Monday, and this right here is around midday, early afternoon Monday, you can see there's some very light green, some light showers possible, maybe a thunderstorm or two, but that boundary still is over the Gulf of Mexico. Probably going to mix out or even completely decay over the next 36 hours, so probably by about Tuesday will probably be the last remnants of it. So as we get into Monday night, you can see there's a weak low pressure system along the front, continues to go east. And with that, the moisture does go east as well. And looks like we'll see rain drop off pretty quick tomorrow afternoon, evening, if there's any that does develop. If there is, it's probably going to be closer to the coast. Will be pretty quiet over the night, maybe some Gulf showers, isolated thunderstorms. There is a disturbance that tries to move through late Monday and Monday night across it moves through the Southern Plains tonight, and then move across the lower Mississippi Valley Monday night. It may try to help squeeze out some showers, but overall, we're probably going to remain dry. And as we go into the Tuesday afternoon time frame, most of the rain is pretty much east of the area. A lot of high pressure over the area. And as we go deeper into the week, more high pressure over the area. Our boundary continues to get pushed down to the south. And looking at another area of much stronger high pressure, a stronger cold front all the way across the northern portions of the United States through the Great Lakes and starting to push into the mid-Mississippi Valley. That high pressure will continue to slide, and this is Thursday morning. And as high pressure dominates pretty much the 2/3 of the CONUS, basically everything east of the Rocky Mountains, we're going to see a lot of drier air kind of push into the area, and probably maybe some cooler air as well. So temperatures could be, a little bit more on the pleasant side for late May. It'll still be in the 80s, most likely, but probably going to be just below normal in a few locations for Wednesday and Thursday. And then high pressure will continue to slide down across the eastern U.S. You can see very weak, maybe some portions of that front still could be identified trying to push into the Gulf of Mexico by Saturday morning. And basically what that's really indicating is we're expecting, maybe that backdoor cold front, as we call it, more so drier air, but with the way the upper levels of the atmosphere are looking, it looks like we're going to be pretty dry over that time frame. So after Tuesday, rain chances really drop off considerably. And if you look at basically the rainfall forecast from the Weather Prediction Center, they've got very little, if any, rain over us. The majority of the rain from across coastal Mississippi and coastal southeast Louisiana shows anything from about 1/4 of an inch to maybe 1/10 of an inch. However, other portions of southeast Louisiana and southwest Mississippi, they're kind of indicating, looks like it's going to be dry for the next 7 days. So the best chance for rain looks like it's going to probably be in the next 48 hours and mainly across coastal areas. After that, looks like we could be dry. So the hazard outlook across the United States for the next 30 to 7 days is pretty quiet. There's not a lot really on this map. There's a few areas that are in kind of severe drought. But the main thing that they're highlighting right now is some above normal temperatures across the northern Great Plains and some of the interior of California, maybe across the Sierra Nevada mountain range. And there is even some possibility of maybe some heavy rain across portions of coastal Florida and the Atlantic coast Florida, because most of Florida is coastal. But you're looking on the northeast side of the Florida coast, that's on the Atlantic, and then the Georgia and portions of the South Carolina coast. Your temperature outlook for the next 6 to 10 days, with kind of the system that we look like we're going to have, upper level patterns, and even that weak backdoor cold front, there's pretty much a near normal chance of getting either all three. Right? There's nothing that indicates we could see above normal temperatures or below normal temperatures or near normal temperatures. But the way the pattern's setting up, probably going to be near normal for the most part. However, one thing that does look like is that we could see a below normal precipitation. So rainfall, if you're looking for rainfall, we're not really going to get much of it for at least the next 6 to maybe even 10 days across the area. And that is it for me over here. If obviously, please follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We're also on YouTube as well, so this video will be posted there. And your week overall looks like it's going to be pretty quiet. Maybe some light showers if you are along the coast tomorrow or even the Tuesday. Otherwise, look for drier conditions with temperatures near normal for the most part. Maybe one day we could see some below normal temperatures, especially the morning lows, given the drier air. However, everything looks to be pretty quiet through this week, and the tropics, even though with hurricane season starting June 1st, we need to be keeping an eye on the tropics as always. It does look quiet, though, for the most part, so we should be good for the next 7 to 10 days. Thank you very much. You have a great evening.